Hey everyone, Steve here from Big Head Tech, and the video is about why you shouldn't buy an A700K, and then there's a crooked tower next to me. Well, this crooked tower is exactly how I got it. And this is how I got an A700K for $200. The question is, why shouldn't you buy an A700K for $200? It's 6 cores, 12 threads, you know, not the newest, but at the time of filming, the second newest platform. You know, it'll boost up in the upper 4s, all core, you know, rah Intel. You know, first of all, you can't even find this chip at $200. You're gonna find it at 260, 270, 280. So if I find one at 200, Steve from Big Head Tech's telling you, don't buy it. But why? Well, of course, I have an answer. Let's take a look, because that answer is in my phone. When I do my testing, I don't like the works on if, and, it could be. Case in point, people that are buying new silicon of the Ryzen 5 3600, I've seen a couple people get the 4.4 and 4.5 all-core overclock. Mine can barely hit 4.2, of course it doesn't automatically with PBO. So I don't like to talk about what ifs and what some people can do. Because in my opinion, my audience generally isn't going to go that far. Because Linus and Steve from Gamers Nexus and Level 1 Techs and Jay, and all of them have, like, you can overclock it to 5.1 or 5.2 or, you know, do this kind of exotic cooling. They have those videos. I want to target the people that can put together a system but don't want to mess with change voltages and frequencies and stress test and everything. So the test system is an A700K. It's my general test system. I have an MSI Z370A Pro motherboard. I have 2400 megahertz RAM, and here was the decision behind it. I have 3000 and, well, I at least have 3600 megahertz. Yeah, I have 3000 megahertz RAM here as well. But why didn't I use that? Well, I use memory in the systems that basically support it. So Intel really doesn't get anything for memory speed. Anyhow, an A700K supports 2400. That's what I happened to run. It was a CL15 kit. It was fine. So it's my standard test bench. The products would be quiet, the VGA 1080, etc. Now, here's the thing. I also only want to do testing where somebody can go into the BIOS, enable a setting, have a very high amount of confidence that it's going to work and it's going to be stable. If you can't do that, then I'm not interested in testing that feature, because it's not realistic that Steve from Gamers Nexus is getting 5.2 gigahertz on this chip and you're going to get 4.7. There's a 500 megahertz difference there, and that's going to sway your opinion, and that's kind of what this video is all about. So, you know, standard stuff applies here. Motion blurs off when enabled. One-click OC functions for both memory and CPU, so Precision Boost Overdrive, and it's like Intel's Enhanced Turbo Boost. GPU boost was used. Use standard XMP DOCP profile. Normalized. I have a standard normalized fan curve that I use, but thermal throttling, I generally try to avoid that. So there's no thermal throttling here. And synthetics had next to no benchmarks or programs open. Now, here's also what's important is what these were running at. So the 9900K was 5 gigahertz. The 8700K was 4.7. I'm not going to read through the rest of them because that's repeating. There's the ability, at least on this board, to run this chip at 4.7 without really high thermals. I think I was like in the upper 70s, lower 80s during stress testing. And I'm comfortable with that. I don't care to hit 5 gigahertz because, like I said, there's already videos out there about it. I want to talk about the one-click overclock, set, forget that anybody can do. Now, let's take a look at some benchmarks here. So, oh, wow. We had to scroll all the way to the bottom, it looks like, almost. Wow. So third from the bottom, we had the 8700K. It lost in every test except R15 single core, where it was 5 points ahead. It lost in everything else. Single core R20, multi-core R15, multi-core R20. Well, I mean, you saw the title of the video, so I mean, you had to think Cinebench was going to be it too. But at 4.7 gigahertz, when we move over to the Blender, though, definitely it's going to do not really any better. It still falls behind the Ryzen 5 3600. That, again, to be 100% honest, I didn't really expect that. The 500 megahertz bump, and I know these chips have better single thread performance, I didn't think it was really going to offset, because there's a lot of these workloads that do favor Intel still due to the architecture. But look, the 3900X wins in single thread performance in some of my testing versus 9900K, but it doesn't win in gaming. So the reality is if you guys are, I mean, they're close enough where gaming performance is going to make a difference. So when we go to Rise of the Tomb Raider, 1080p and 1440p high settings, the 8700K at 4.7 gigahertz loses straight up. Like not even close, 10 FPS. Okay. Again, it's basically second to the bottom above second gen Ryzen. That's a game, I guess. So, you know, we'll move on. For Honor, same problem. Doesn't lose as much, but it's not as good as a $200 chip so far. I was really surprised. But we have more games, right? So the Division 2, it won by, what, 2 FPS? Yeah, not really impressed, to be honest. At 500 megahertz more, I really expected a solid win. Ghost Recon Wildlands, yeah, 0.7. Yeah, let's give our hats off to Intel here. So sarcasm aside, I wasn't expecting these results. I really wasn't. I deal mostly with Ryzen for two reasons. A, when I build and sell, I like to have the same ecosystem, so if something, God forbid, does fail, I have something to replace with. So that's one reason. And I think Ryzen has the best stack overall. They've had the best stack, in my opinion, since the first gen, because they were good on the low end and somewhat competitive at the high end. Somewhat. They really weren't, but they were good enough. But to be honest, I didn't expect that the Ryzen 3rd gen was going to be able to make up 500 megahertz. You know, we're talking over 10%, about 12 or 13% difference. Now, I know the I7-8700k is a couple years old, but it's the same 14 nanometer architecture. Like, they haven't done anything essentially since 7th gen. They added 2 more cores and that was it. Their big thing is clock speed. And the point of this video is, if you can get an I7-8700k for $200, don't buy it. It's not a good value. You can get a 3600 for $200 or less. You can literally enable Precision Boost Overdrive, get a board, get a decent B450 board that will support out of the box, a B450 Pro 4 by ASRock, fantastic budget board. I use it for my test system. I can handle up to a 3900X with a little bit like Precision Boost enabled. So 3600, it'll handle all day. You know, just I do recommend that board if you're looking for budget. So you're going to save money on the board. That board's $70 to $85. The CPU is often on sale for less than $200. An A700K you're going to buy used, which let me tell you from experience, Intel warranty is crap. I had to jump through hoops just to get it through. Like, they wanted pictures of the original box. Like, that's how serious it was. So I'm not saying don't buy a system with an A700K. They're so close that I think they're both great chips. My point is that if you find a good deal on a whole system with the A700K on Craigslist, sure, buy it. But unless you already have a Z370 or 390 board that's going to support it, you're going to get a Ryzen 3000 series CPU in board for cheaper and get, in my opinion, all around better performance. If you want to buy something that I maybe talked about in the video, sure, I'll put it in the description below. If you like the video, hit that like button. Dislike the video, hit the dislike button. Don't forget to leave a comment, because I think there's going to be a lot of people commenting about this. Like the video if you think I did a good job, and get subscribed. But as always, this is Steve from Big Head Tech, and I'll see y'all later on down the road.